Okay, let's talk about it. You know, I was gonna ask, balancing music and fatherhood. Tell me about it.
It was a lot easier when I had help. It's a lot different doing it solo. I've been I only leave the crib about 4 hours a week to go to the studio. Besides that, I'm here with them, doing the school and chilling and staying out the way. You know what I mean?
Right. How old are your kids?
4, 5, and 6.
Wow.
And so I got them full time, and then I have a 10-year-old that 50-50, and then 2 teenagers with my ex-wife, but they live with her. So they're not here as much as everybody else.
Right. You just busy.
Yeah. I've been from time to time.
It's an understatement. Listen, but I'm very impressed because having kids that young and just still trying to pursue, or just not even trying, pursuing your passions, like you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
When did you get into music?
Well, I've been doing it, like this is my 13th year, doing it as a job.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've always messed with it. I took guitar lessons when I was like 8. You know what I mean? I was always, collecting albums and, cassettes and stuff like that. Yeah, as far as not having to do anything else besides rap, it's been over a decade now. So.
Wow. So you're like in high demand.
I don't know about all that. Just enough demand to keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, as heard on ESPN, MTV, Sirius XM, and more. Tell me, how did you get all of these features?
Let's see, the ESPN joint, that was a track I produced for my man Reef, the Lost Cause. That was a while ago. That was before I was doing it full time. Mm-hmm. I produced something for him, and then ESPN picked it up for Monday Night Football. So that was back in 07, mm-hmm. something like that. So that happened with like my mixtapes. Sirius, I got a lot of support over there. I got a lot of DJs that been spinning my stuff for good 10 years now. So it comes together. It depends, and sometimes you luck out. Either being on a song or having a song, and then somebody else wants to pick it up and license it. Mm-hmm. So definitely trying to get more into that.
Okay, I can dig it.
Yeah, I like it like this. Like I occasionally I miss tour, but really I really enjoy this a lot more. Mm-hmm.
So
what I mean?
How did you sustain during the pandemic, or at the onset of it?
I had started doing a weekly last year, so I was like 7 weeks into that. So I was just dropping a song every week. I've kind of been doing this. I've been doing it the same way for a while though. Like the pandemic just kind of fit into what I was doing for the most part.
Right. Okay.
I had knee surgery last year too, like right before the pandemic. So I couldn't walk for like 3 months. That was a bit challenging, but got through that.
Right. Wow. So you just overcoming over there, right?
Trying. It's working most of the time.
Okay. What inspires you now?
I mean, I love making music. So, and especially right now, like that's the only thing I really got to do, paperwork and make music. So that keeps me inspired. I want to do something else. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's nothing else I'd rather do. So doing that, and I'm getting more into the stocks and stuff. So since I a lot of time sitting here, let that money work out a little bit. See if I stretch everything out another 5-10 years.
Okay, all right. So you learned to invest.
Yeah, I was bad. I should have did that when I did my first album because I spent a lot on my first album. I definitely should have invested 20 or 30 back then. Mm-hmm.
And what year was that?
2015.
2015. Okay. Now
I had some mixtapes. I had some mixtapes before that. 08, 2010, and 2012, and then I put together the budget and did my first real official joint. Had a DJ Premier on there, Ninth Wonder, Smith & Wesson, Rhapsody, Jadakiss.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, and of course, I mean, like I said, like Sirius had been spinning me, but when I dropped that album, then they started calling me to come up. Come up to Tony Touch show or Rap is Out of Control, so just taking my time slow grinding, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? You take your time, but you've been putting in a lot of work over the years. Like, it's not like you've been busy. Why is Ty and EHF? No, not F. I don't know why I do that.
Everything happens for a reason. That's just the abbreviation.
Everything happens for a reason. Why is that your favorite album?
I mean, that's my most recent solo joint. You know what I mean? And I think it was an improvement from The Timing Is Everything. I feel both were an improvement from the mixtapes that I put out, prior to that. And, obviously I have one coming out later this year. So when that drops, that's probably going to be it. Unless there's a drastic change, because I mean, I already heard 90% of
it. So what's the new, so with this project, when did you release this project?
No, I have one that's upcoming later this year. I don't have a set date yet. I just know sometime this year. I'm wrapping that up and doing some mix downs. I think I have like one more track I have to write, and then everything else is written or recorded already.
Okay. And then in your previous album, what's your favorite single?
I don't know. I like Drunk right now. It's a good one. I mean, I like all of them. If there's a song I didn't like, it wouldn't make the album. You know what I mean? So it all ties together. You know what I mean? I don't think I put out any filler in my stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not really for me to judge though, because I'm just one person. So.
Right. Okay. You make music for the people, not for yourself.
Well, I mean, you got to kind of make it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's their job to judge it though. Like, I can't speak for thousands of people or millions of people or whatever the situation is. You know what I mean? I might love a song and then 100,000 people are like, not a fan. You know what I mean? So
that don't do it for me, right?
Just like there's tons of songs that I'm not really feeling that millions of other people are. I think that's something that happens a lot too. Like, a lot of artists, especially underground artists, they're so worried about like a hit. Like, you don't need a hit. You know what I mean? If you got hundreds of songs in your catalog and they all do all right, and you can have a wider variety of stuff, I think that's more sustainable than having something jump out the atmosphere real quick and then you got to live off just that for a decade. I watch people skyrocket right past me and they get less for a show than I do now. They got plaques. If I get to some level like that where I'm moving units like that, that's where I'm gonna quit at. Leave on a high note.
Difference between a beat maker and a producer.
Oh, well, I mean, a beat maker, you're just only making the beat. Production, you're bringing everything. You're bringing the song to life. And I know a lot of people get it confused, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, Dr. Dre he's not the best producer because he has other people do parts." Like, no, that's what a producer does, though. There's some dudes that don't touch nothing. It's just like, yo, you do this, have this guy mix it like this, and they put it together and make the magic happen. You know what I'm saying? So I dabble, I dabble in those and rhyming, but there's definitely a misconception about that. It seems a lot of these things though, they come from like super underground or like super mainstream people. I think like people in the middle kind of get what's going on.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Now, is your personality reflected in your work?
Yeah, it's a little bit too much.
A little bit too much. Why you say that?
Did you hear any of it? You gotta tune in. And
No, I heard it, but like when you think about personality, like I know I see your personality now. So is that what you rap about all the time?
I rap about a whole bunch of, I have a wide spectrum of stuff. I mean, typically, like when people call me for work, if they want a feature or something, they want, punch in the face rap or robbery rap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not doing the jokes right now. I'm babysitting, but
well,
I've been involved in the streets enough that I can rap how I rap the rest of my life and feel comfortable about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
What's one?
A couple lady songs. My lady songs are a little bit, maybe not as romantic is what other people would call, love or lady songs, but that's back to personality.
What's your favorite lady song then?
Wanna Be Loved. That's a pretty good one. That's on the first album.
Mm-hmm.
Wanna Be Loved. There's a nice little video for that.
And what was the stimulus? What was the motivation for that?
I made that in 2009 when I was working on my second mixtape. And I had made that song and I was like, I'm gonna hold on to this till I do the album, And
right.
it's not. It's just regular Mac. Like, hey, I don't know. Once you get to know me a little bit, like everything's regular Mac. But I can talk about a bunch of different things. Like, it's not always just that one focus. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's, street things or women or relationships or government stuff. Or, you know what I mean?
Right.
Usually the beat tells me what to do. Like, I just let it go like that. I pick, when I make the beat or I pick the beat out, it talks. But I definitely try to be genuine as possible.
What is the biggest mistake that you've ever made in the business that you've learned from?
My personality. I ain't dial it back enough. Dealing with. I'm a dick. I'm a funny dickhead. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I guess when I first came in, I really didn't understand. I thought a lot more people were a little bit more like me. You know what I mean? I don't know, like, when I first came in, I was just kind of like angry. You know what I'm saying? As far as just a lot of dudes fronting, and it's not. Obviously, you're not supposed to still, if you're involved in the streets and then you get into music, you're supposed to get out. I mean, but if you're really in the streets, that's the goal anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, you can see it with people's music. If they've been rapping 20 years and that's all they've been doing for 20 years, and they progressively get tougher every song, then 9 times out of 10, they just selling you dreams.
Right.
Tell me about something you learned in them 20 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, now I probably was a little bit too much, over the years. Actually, like getting the toddlers like really made me pump the brakes on a lot of stuff, and I've made a lot happen, the last 3 years.
Right.
So, because prior to that, it was kind of yard out. You know what I mean? It was like, I had people I could trust with them. I have the kids half the time, so I'd be like, on my daddy daycare. But once I got a babysitter and I'm not worried about them, like I'm 19 again. You know what I'm saying?
If there was something I'm sorry?
Nah, there's only so many times you can act a certain way or like mush people
What?
I be wilding. Like that's the easiest way. I be wilding. I'm 400 pounds, but I stage dive. It's not really a dive. It's more of just jumping into people.
Oh.
No. Yeah, so I can't do that right now because of the surgery. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's ready for that. Well, I haven't tried to jump 6 feet yet. I'm probably not trying it for the fall. Gotta start working out again. But yeah, no, I was a little much, and at the end of the day, even if we're at an event or we're just we're chilling at the studio having some drinks or whatever, it's still business. You know what I mean? And I definitely didn't always treat it, as that business.
Right.
So I definitely I burnt down half the bridges I crossed. That's for sure. But I like it like that to an extent.
Well, it's good for storytelling, I guess.
Oh yeah. Infinite stories. Like I can completely stop doing that, and we got stories. You know what I mean?
If you could change something about the music industry today, what would that look like? What would that be?
Not much.
Mm-hmm.
Not much. And that's another thing. Like, kind of touch on what we were saying earlier. Like, a lot of these people, especially underground cats, like they're so focused on, I need this hit, or it doesn't have to be like a hit. It doesn't have to be like a #1 radio hit. But something that's getting traction that you're gonna at least pack up, 1,000 capacity venues for your tour.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to. I don't know. The only thing I don't like about it, and it might be just the people I deal with, is the way the information's passed around. Like with publishing, that's why I'm real adamant about that. Like when I work with somebody, I make sure they have all their publishing right. Because it's not just signing up for one thing. People think, I got BMI or ASCAP. Like, no, there's 4 ways you get paid off a song.
Right.
Including the distro. So there was a while I was only getting 2 of my income streams. I should have been getting 4. So I left racks on the table, or like paperwork being messed up. Like that song I was saying I did that got on ESPN. The label just straight took my shit. They took my cut, but I was getting checks, so I didn't check in on it.
Right.
I thought it was good. And then once I'm like at home all day with the toddlers and putting 10 hours a day on the computer and catching up on everything, I was like, oh wow, these dudes straight checked my shit.
Wow, that was recent.
No, actually that was one of the first joints. And another thing is it was it was from my boy. So, you know what I mean? It's not like I charged him for the beat. It was like, handshake deal. It's like, yo, hey, do this beat. I'll throw you on a track on the album. Besides that, yeah. Well, all that ties in together. So, yeah, I don't know. It's already confusing as it is, and I feel like it's kind of secretive on how to do certain things. I've also been blessed to be around people that put me down with certain things. So then, once I have the information, anybody I deal with, even if somebody inquires about a verse and my price is too much, but I like what they're doing with their project, I'll still be like, yo, well, here, you got to do this, this, and this. And it doesn't matter that you're Joe Schmo and you're only going to make $25 on this song, because this is the same paperwork that Jay-Z got to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Jay-Z doesn't do it, somebody does it for him, but it's the same. You got to do the same thing. And if you don't do that, then, they have this thing called the black box rule. So any unclaimed publishing, they round that up every 3 years, and then they split it amongst the top 10 credit earners.
What?
Listen, all right, let me put it like this. So, all right, so I got my stuff. I register all my songs. Now, say you're doing an album, and we do a song together, we register that one, but you got 6 other songs you didn't register. Right. After 3 years, whatever money you were supposed to get for your publishing, on the writing end and the mechanical end, that goes into this quote unquote black box. Right. They divvy it up amongst the top 10 earners, which means like if you don't collect your $13 for that one song for the spins in Norway, that means that it goes to Jay-Z, Drake, and Rihanna. And like, I'm not cool with that.
I know you lying.
Look at you, Google it.
Oh my God, that's
how would I lie to you? I'm trying to talk to you.
Oh my God, that's crazy. So then
and that's something I didn't learn that for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then even like, you know, with mechanical, so like when you do your thing, you get a writer credit or composer credit.
Mm-hmm.
Then you also get that same percentage, you know, for mechanicals on the publishing side.
Right.
So when I did songs with established artists, it's not like they got my money anyway. It just sat there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why wouldn't you tell me that? That's like kind of weird to me.
Right.
And, you know, but the same way they did that, there's other cats that I didn't even have a song with that I'm just cool with. And they're like, hey, did you check out Sound Exchange yet? Matter of fact, shout out my man Domingo, put me down with that Sound Exchange. You know what I mean? That's 4 checks I was missing every year. That's for your Pandora, you know, certain things on Pandora, and when you get spun on Sirius. Like I said, I've been getting spun on Sirius for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
I bought some stocks to try to even up and catch up on what, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's a slow mover though. That shit don't jump enough to do nothing crazy with. You might make $1 per share a year if you're lucky.
Wow. So it is a lot to learn. Like
it is, and it's super confusing as it is, and then it's overwhelming because you're just coming in, and now you got to do. Before that, you were just rapping.
Right.
Whether you make the beats or, you know, even just doing that, like getting a beat from somebody, getting studio time, setting it up, getting it the way you want, editing it, having somebody mix it and master it. Like right there, that's a process, and that's only like 10 or 20%. So it's wild, and like I said, you know, some of this stuff I didn't find out until, you know, 17, 18, 19. So as I did it and, you know, signed up for certain things and filled out certain paperwork, you know, and then I put people down.
Mm-hmm.
Whether, you know, there's dudes I know from this studio that I go to. I don't have songs with all of them. But, you know, oh, y'all got something coming out next month? Go ahead, do this, this, and this. Or make sure you sign up for this and then do that for every song.
Right.
And I just feel like that should just be like more of a common practice, because you already have to sign up for 4 different things to get your bread from the one song.
Right.
That's already, you know, it's some real American shit. Because it's different, you know, like it's different with Australia. I do work with a lot of people from Australia. I'm on a meeting. No, do not go in the room. Just come. You're not making a tent right now. Have a seat and watch Moana until I'm done, please. But you're not having a snack either. I'm running out of threats.
You're gonna need that Moana.
Yeah. Well, if you hurt your knee, sit down, please. Yeah, but yeah, it's confusing, and the thing is, like, it's confusing, but it's not that complex. You know, once you know what you're looking at and what you're looking for, and what, you know, once you have a checklist of things that need to happen when you drop a song, whether you're just dropping it to your 1,000 fans or you're doing some big promo that you're promoting it to 1 million people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
when you said,
well, I don't know. I mean, I do things how I do it. So like that, like I said, that's why I try to spread that information. Cause I mean, and just in general too. I think you know, if you have knowledge of something outside of like a scheme, you know what I mean? A scheme you don't share. But if you have knowledge and you're not sharing it, you a sucker in my eyes. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, I mean, that's how I feel about it. Maybe I'm not 100% right, but I think I'm on the right path. I'm at least 51% right.
You're right. I mean, like, you giving free game. Isn't that what that's called? Free game?
I guess. I mean, because it's not even free game though. It's the rules. It's like, here's the rules to the game, because there's none of that. I don't really think that's free game.
Right.
You understand? Like, if there was a way to manipulate it, yeah, you don't share that. Or if like if you out in the streets busting a move and you know you can get something, 20% cheaper somewhere, yeah, you might not share that. Or when you do share that information, then you get money off it, but that makes sense. Right. But something like By me not telling you to do that for your 6 other songs, I don't get that money.
Right.
And that's the thing that kind of baffled me. Like, I'm like, damn, like, it's not like they got the money because I didn't know. Like, nobody got it. Jay-Z got it. You feel what I'm saying? And I don't know, that's the only thing I don't like. Cause yo, it's I've been doing this since like, 4-track demo tapes, cassettes. You know what I mean? I'm a little older. I didn't start till I was 30.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I'm 42 now. You know what I mean?
Polished.
So it's a little different. But saying people send you that money, man. You know what I'm saying? And
well, you just learned a lot of lessons along the way that is serving you now.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right. So, with your newest music, what's your favorite track?
Oh, that's tough. I really love every song I've done so far. I got a joint with Cool G Rap that we're about to shoot a video for. So that's one of my favorites because he's been one of my favorites since he came out. You know what I mean? I've been building with him. So I like that one. But I like every song. You know what I mean? Because if I don't like it, is I got the weekly. Like if I'm like, it's all right. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't usually even feel like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like all of them.
Okay.
I don't know how to say it, because I'm making albums. I'm old school, so like there's a difference between somebody that might have started 5 years ago or came up. You know what I mean? Even if they were doing it for 10 years, but they came up in a different era than me.
Right.
You know what I mean? They might be more single oriented versus I'm trying to make a cassette. You know what I mean? Or an LP where it matters the last song on the side before you flip the joint over.
Right.
And so I'm trying to make the whole thing cohesive and make sense along the way too. So like each song plays off the other two. You know what I mean? So it's not just like, I got 10 hot songs, let's make it an album. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, look, if I find one I don't like, I'll let you know.
Well, you're making it do what it do. So where can our viewers follow you and download your music? Or do you have anything else that you're working on? What's next?
I have like 8 projects.
Wow.
In the tuck that are like, 80 to 90% done. Maybe they need a cover. Maybe I'm waiting on a feature or two or something minor. So I got that. I go to the studio every week. You know what I mean? I've been doing the weekly since last year. So a lot of them this year are features. Like last year I did 30 some new songs, and then I dropped the project with my man Tone Spliff. So this year is more like features that I did last year that are coming out this year.
Okay.
But it's a playlist. So I mean, if you Google me though, I'm everywhere.
You are.
You know what I mean? And for the weekly thing, we have playlists on Apple, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, YouTube, and there's a Bandcamp link in there too, where you can get like all the songs from last year.
Okay, I can rock with that. So where can people follow you on social media?
King Magnetic on everything.
Okay, I can dig it.
I got a Snapchat too, but I have to say with
that. Do you promote music on TikTok?
No. I mean, I have songs on there. Yeah, if somebody want to do a dance to it, and that's another one. I tapped in real quick because my baby mom's older daughter had put me down with it, but I'm just like, yeah. No. Hey, I know some dudes that's getting some traction with it, like even like on some like beat making, making beats, and then you do it, whatever works. But I mean, I started when it was MySpace.
Right.
Like my first mixtape says MySpace on the cover.
Wow.
Like my MySpace page. Yeah. So, but yeah, I be on Facebook. I be on Facebook heavy. I be on there trolling too. I like trolling people.
Oh Lord.
But you know what I mean? IG, Twitter, Facebook. I'm verified on all of them but IG. I don't know. I guess I need y'all to make some fake accounts for me. So they got to give me the blue check mark on there. But the other ones I've had for like 5 years. I don't know. People know they still spend money. Like if they see a hat, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. See a hat or a shirt. Mm-hmm. Then, they'll DM me or if they want a verse, they know it's me. It's obviously me. But stop paying for the mixtape slots, man. Please, for the price that you paying for a mixtape slot, you get King Mag on. I'll show you how to do it and make money off.
Oh Lord. Well,
either that or I'll show you how to open a Robinhood account and put a few hundred on something that's about to move. You know what I mean?
Right.
Stop wasting money because it's about to not exist again anyway.
You all about educating people, like you said. What is one bit of advice?
No, stop.
Hey, what's a bit of advice that somebody gave you that you wish somebody would have gave you early in the game?
Shut the fuck up, man. Like seriously. So I was really thinking about that the other day. I was like, damn. There's a point, and that's and people gravitate towards it or want to be away from it. And that's in my name. You know what I mean? Magnetic, attract, repel.
Right.
To some people it's a comedy show. It's a good time, and other people it's a nightmare. You know what I mean? And I get it. As long as the numbers add up, that I ain't gotta go work at Amazon or some shit. You know what I mean? I'm bringing the 90s back then. We saw crack, baby. Fuck.
It's tax free. I understand.
I mean, I'd have to do something. If I had to do something else, I couldn't. I'd have to make my own another business. I could never work for somebody again.
Okay.
Not for and understand, and that it comes back to being genuine with shit. Like, yeah, I'm actually a 2-time felon. I did years, you know what I mean, for robberies and shit. So like, it doesn't really work out when you go apply for a job with that shit. Like, I done got fired from a job on my day off on some Nah. I knew you was gonna say Friday. Yo, can you at least, if you're gonna run around, don't scream. Thanks, bro. Yeah. So there's this. I was on bail. So look, I did 5 years. I didn't do straight 5 though. I did like 2.5. Came home a year. Went back for a year or some change. So I maxed that out. I caught a gun charge in New York. Like 02. Called me. So I bailed out, and I was working at this printing shop. They was printing like Sports Illustrated, a couple other, books and magazines. I was doing good there. So they had me through the temp, and they had me fill out the joint. So on the temp, I just lied like, yeah, like I'm on bail for a gun charge. So when they ran my ticket, to really hire me because I'm doing a good job, they're like, oh my God, we almost died, Martha.
Oh my God.
And they hit me up and stop. They hit me up and it was like, yo, we're gonna mail you a check. I was like, wait, I thought you were about to hire me. So I already, like, in my head, I know what happened. Like, they ran the background check and they seen what it really is.
Right.
And it's different than, back then too, it was fresh.
Right.
Like I maxed out in 02 and then had a gun charge in 02. So like, when you run that shit down, the computer just keeps going blip, 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 blip. Like, I know I had to look horrible. Stop screaming, Nunu. Come on.
That's okay, Nunu. Keep screaming. We done.
Now look, as soon as you hang up, they're gonna sit down and chill.
Because they got your undivided attention.
Yeah. They think I'm cheating on my girlfriend or something.
Oh my God.
Oh, Daddy, you're talking to a girl? Oh, it's for work. Yeah, all right.
Tell them I am a blogger. I'm very professional. So,
And they don't even know what that means.
oh,
They
that's right.
be trying to hook me up with Uber drivers and everything. Like,